Hi, folks. Meteorologist Don Paul with Don Paul Weather Plus. And the plus today may be some barking dogs. I don't know, my dogs are just running around here barking at nothing. Oh, good. Some of them just went out on the deck. Well, satellite imagery does require some training for good interpretation, but the part of the satellite imagery in our region doesn't take a whole lot of background. We've got some fair weather cumulus clouds, those little puffy specks there, but it is a very sunshiny day, and wow, do we ever need it. 53 degrees. When I'm recording this, that's at 2:20 this afternoon. Would you guess that's a little off the mark? The average high this time of the year is 72. And we are going to see temperatures like that again and add a plus to those too later in the week and next weekend. Now, as we get on through the next couple of days, I'm happy to say what limited precipitation we have will not really add much to the mud load in yards around here. And today, actually, although it's cool, we're getting a decent breeze. The one good thing to that breeze is its ability to enhance the evaporation. So we're getting some drying out there. Would help if we were warmer, of course. Looking at this model into tomorrow, we do have a few brief passing showers that are probably going to show up midday, early afternoon. But look, coverage is sparse, sort of like the hair on my back of my forehead. And we may have a few more showers, maybe a rumble of thunder on Wednesday as well. But the overall coverage as we get through Wednesday is, in terms of precipitation, which is being calculated by this model, these colors indicating a total rainfall, and of course the coverage will be spottier than the way this graphic displays, would be in the range of maybe a third of an inch, 4/10 of an inch in some spots. So that is not going to deepen any puddles on your yard. So we look at the models, and then we go back to a little later in the week and go back to how precipitation may be displayed in our part of the country. And here we are during Thursday, and there are a few spurious, that means fake, showers showing up. Thursday should be rain free, and temperatures still close to average, but by the time we get into Friday, we are getting into above average afternoon high temperatures by a few degrees. And look, as we get into Saturday and Sunday, high pressure dominating us and lighter winds, which may help a little bit with the lakeshore flooding problem, which is pretty nasty on the Lake Ontario shoreline today and will stay that way into the evening with a brisk west-northwest flow. And the flooding is exacerbated when the waters get captured in bays and inlets. So it's a tough time along the shoreline of Niagara and Orleans counties. In fact, the entire Lake Ontario shoreline, the south side of it, when we have these west-northwest winds. And all the lakes are near record levels. Lake Ontario is at a record high, and that's been caused by the excessive precipitation we had this winter and this spring. Now, it's cyclical, so it may take a year or two, but these water levels will gradually lower. However, there is no way to quickly lower them. The Joint Commission cannot let out enough water safely into the St. Lawrence River to really bring them down very much. So we'll go from the models to what we call ensembles to see what the overall upper air pattern is looking like. And here we are coming into the weekend, and there is this weakness down here, which is going to cause some showers and thunderstorms well away from us. But this orange shading that indicates the ridge of upper level high pressure is beginning to get closer to us, and that will allow temperatures in the baking atmosphere not to get to summer-like levels, but above average. And that pattern actually strengthens as we get on into Sunday, although there is still this weakness well away from us that by late Sunday night might bring in a few showers. Saturday and Sunday right now look rain-free with abundant sunshine and temperatures in the mid 70s, coolest right at the immediate lakeshore. But as of this early juncture, this coming weekend looks better than the one we just went through and more like we should have in June. The average high, as I said, it's about 72. And then we look ahead into the beginning of next week and we still have that ridge, so it should still be warmer than average as we get into Monday next week. Then there may be a little cooling. Unfortunately, we're still seeing other elements in the atmospheric circulations which favor returns to cooler than average conditions from time to time. This is the European ensemble we've looked at. Let's see how the American ensemble compares. And here we are. Let me bring it back to where we were now. The European ensemble still had us warm on Monday, and so does the American ensemble, the GFS ensemble, has that ridge close to us. But then we get this trough returning again. We still have some blocking in the upper atmosphere, which allows the jet stream to weaken and buckle and sag. And that is related, there's a good deal of evidence to this, to warming in the Arctic. The Arctic is the part of the globe warming up twice as fast as the rest of the globe. This was well predicted in the 1980s climate models because we're replacing reflective white ice with dark ocean waters that absorb the sun's energy and heat up. And then you get less temperature contrast between here and up there. And the lessening of that temperature contrast frequently weakens the northern branch of the jet stream, and it sags and buckles. And that produces blocking, which, if you're under the good part of the block, you may say, oh, this is fantastic. But blocking can also encourage what occurred in the disastrous flooding of Hurricanes Harvey, the most expensive storm to date, and Hurricane Florence the next year in the Carolinas, where the storm stalled once they moved inland due to blocking in the atmosphere. Nothing that critical going on like that now, but some of that blocking is what led to the drastic and disastrous tornadic supercells, which were so numerous in Oklahoma, parts of Kansas and Missouri, and also the disastrous flooding. Now back to next week. After a warm weekend and a warm Monday, we do see kind of a dip here developing in the jet stream again. Still should be pretty pleasant temperature-wise on Tuesday, that shading of orange. And then this trough does begin later next week by Wednesday to sag back into the Great Lakes. So as I've written several times in the Buffalo News, we just don't see a long string of pearls with this kind of tendency toward repeated blocking episodes. We'll get some nice days to be sure, and at least this week the timing is great for them, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's nothing to complain about. But then we do get returns to these troughs over the Great Lakes, which allow cooler than average temperatures to begin. And with the passage of each cold front, there is the potential for a period of scattered showers and storms. And here we are going through next week, and we're seeing that cool shade of blue hang out, at least close to us. We don't have the kind of warm ridging of high pressure here that we have so early in the week on Monday and this coming weekend. So we're going to get those good days, but they're not going to be permanent. And I think when all is said and done, most of June, temperature-wise, will be a little shy of what most people want. In fact, we'll finish up here with a Climate Prediction Center outlook for the third and fourth month of the week. Give me a second to find that. And we'll look at their experimental 3 to 4 day temperature outlook. And note that shade of blue. This is for the period of the second half of the month, basically. We have a better than 50% probability of temperatures running. B means below average. Nowhere near every day, just not enough above average days to get us an A. And the EC here, that means in that part of the country, in terms of whether you're going to be above or below average, EC stands for equal chances. No good, strong signals from nature which way it's going to go. The signals we have now favor the cool days outnumbering the warmth, but not wiping them off the map, so don't get too depressed. By the way, I think I have an interesting article right now, that a totally different subject in the Buffalo News online edition. Why can't we nuke hurricanes? Every meteorologist I know of, both in broadcasting and in the National Weather Service, gets that question. Why can't we, take an H-bomb and weaken a hurricane way out at sea? Well, that may to some of you sound like a dumb question, but you may be shocked and surprised that it actually had some limited support from people who should have known better. And it's in the online edition right now in the weather section. Hope you get to it. Hope you at least enjoy the sunshine this afternoon. The dogs didn't bark. I'm a happy man. I'm going to go out on the deck and lie out in the sun for a few minutes with them. They just love to hang out with Daddy on the deck. Have a great afternoon, and I will talk to you real soon. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button to my YouTube channel, Don Paul Weather Plus. That's what's going to keep this baby going.